Hello and how are you? My name is Muhindo Barak and I welcome you to our fifth video of learning how to make Flutter user interfaces at advanced level. So we're going to cover a lot of things in this series of mastering Flutter UI. As we always do 40 minutes, so I'll start our timer. So if it's your first time to watch this video and you want to take it from here, I recommend that you start with the project that is in the link. The link is in the description of this video. Get that project and then clone it or download it, and then it's the one that we'll start with. In that project, there is a lot of things that I provide. I provide you the resources such as images and different assets, and also maybe the models. So in a way that we are going to, in a way that when you're developing, we're going to develop while concentrating on the user interface. But things like dummy data, images, all of them, they are in that project. So you have to download that project at first, and then you'll be able to do what? To clone it. The project will be like empty after you've run it, but you'll find all the packages that you're going to use in this series of these videos, and also maybe they can help you in your different projects that you're going to be doing. So that's the first thing that you have to do: clone that project or download that project, and then run it on your computer. And then after, start with any video that we'll be doing here. So with that much said, let us go straight into our today's business. If you still remember, in the last lecture, we looked at how we can do different bottom sheets. We looked at how we can do such a bottom sheet, a basic bottom sheet. We also created a bottom sheet like this one. We also, a list bottom sheet. They've also created those are the two bottom sheets that we did create. So in this lecture, we're going to see how we can create different kinds of bottom sheets. The first that I'm going to do, see how we can do a floating bottom sheet like this one, whereby an item is like floating. If you have ever used YouTube, you'll find that when you want to post a new video, they'll bring you something that is floating, yet it is a bottom sheet. So we're going to see how we can create such a bottom sheet. We're also going to see how we can create a filter bottom sheet. So this one, you can use it also even in your application, how you can make such a nice bottom sheet. We're also going to see how you can make an expand bottom sheet, like the one you see on Google Maps, whereby someone can expand and then this bottom sheet can spin the full screen, and a user starts using it. So this bottom sheet, you can see them on Google Maps and different kind of applications, whereby someone, when they want to read more, they just scroll and then the bottom sheet will take over. So that's the kind of the bottom sheet that you're going to do. It's very important, and you can use it in different ways when you're doing your application. Then we are also going to look at how we can create different types of cards in these in today's videos. So without wasting much time, let's go straight into our today's business, and we start straight from here, how we can make a floating bottom sheet. So this floating bottom sheet, you can use it maybe for rating your application, something like that. So let's go ahead and get started with your business. So as always do, this is our application. So if you download the code that I've told you, you'll be able to get something in this kind of structure. So we're on the topic of bottom sheet, as you can see on top here. So I'm going to add another item to discuss about today, which is going to be a floating bottom sheet. So I'll come to our main screen, our main menu screen, which is here under screens, and then we have here menu route. That's where we have all the screen that we're doing. So on top here, I'm going to add another navigation that will enable us to navigate to the floating bottom sheet. So I'll copy this navigation that's already existing, and then I paste on top here. And then I'm going to call this one I'm going to call it floating bottom sheet. So let's go ahead and create the screen for floating bottom sheet. We're going to create a fresh new screen for both floating bottom sheets. So I'll come here and then come to our screens of bottom sheets here, and then we're going to create a new, and then you say we're going to create new and then say file, and then we say floating, and then put bottom sheet like this, and then put .dat. So after doing that, then you can create a stateful widget that's going to cover the bottom sheet. But we already have this kind of stateful widget, so I'm going to copy one of the existing stateful widget and I then paste it here, and I just rename the title. But you can as well create your own from scratch. Okay, let us create our own from scratch. So I'll just simply put here stateful, STFUL, and then I'm going to call this one floating bottom sheet, like this, and then press enter, and then I'll go ahead and import these other things. Alright, I'll import this and remove this super key maybe, and everything should be alright. Alright, so we have here our placeholder. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to now add this bottom sheet to home page, so in a way that if someone clicks here, they should be navigated to the floating bottom sheet. So I'll come to the main route and then put here our floating bottom sheet and then import it. So after doing like that, we're going to go ahead and then click on this. Then we'll see we're on this placeholder where there is nothing. We're going to put demonstrate the floating bottom sheet. So as I told you, I always create my code before so that I don't waste time when I'm doing what? When I'm teaching you. And I also help myself at save time, and also I go ahead and make sure that I explain everything. Okay, so this is the class that the UI that I created. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to explain everything step by step. So the first thing, we have a scaffold here. You know what's made by scaffold, and then behind the scaffold we're having what? We're having a background color of primary gray. So I'll come here and create your scaffold like this, and then put semicolon here. Let me first disable auto copilot, okay, so I can be able to explain everything step by step. All right, so in this scaffold, I'm going to give it background color of what? Of gray. So you see these my colors, they are already constant, that are already defined in the project that I told you to download. So if you press Ctrl and click here, you'll be able to see some different themes or different colors that are already defined that are going to be using in this project. Okay, so I'll come back and then I save. Then we'll see I'll have that kind of what? Of background, grayish background. Then after, I'm going to put a up bar. So you know what's meant by up bar. So I'll just simply come here and put up bar like this. So I already created my up bar, so you can simply press Ctrl here and then you'll be able to see the up bar. Okay, so this up bar is just return an up bar, and then it is having an overlay UI of light, and then it is having a leading icon, and then it's having a what? A trailing icon of what? Of search. So this is an up bar that I created, and you can find it in the project that I tell you to download. Okay, so we don't repeat ourselves. So let me go ahead and do it and save. Then we'll be able to see that you have that up bar. You just simply custom up bar, and then you put .get up bar, and then you put here the title that you want the up bar to display, and then you do like that. Okay, as a preferred widget. So you can as well remove this. It's just an option. Okay, so that is our what? Our up bar. Okay, so that is our what? Our up bar. So after putting the up bar, the next thing we're going now to put the what? The logic that will launch this bottom sheet. Okay, so if I click here, it will launch the bottom sheet. It's for the rating. So we are learning many things, all of them at once. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to put here, we're going to put here the what? We're going to put a column in our we're going to put a column in our scaffold, and then we're going to do what? We put the up bar, the floating action bar in between those columns, and then after you're going to put the hero tag of what? Of this color, and we're going to put the hero tag of this color, and then after we put the elevation of 3, and then so these are the parameters of what? Of floating action bar. Nothing is special there. All right, and then we're going to put a listener that when we click there, we should be able to do what? To launch the bottom sheet. So let's go ahead and do that. So I just simply copy this column, okay, and then I'm going to paste there, and I explain everything in that column. So for you just pause the video and implement accordingly. So come here to to body, and then I put this column. So I'm going to explain everything there. So in this column it's just a column, of course, widgets, and it is having inside that column we're having a floating action bar, okay, and this floating action bar, you can give it a hero tag, and this one is optional, you can as well leave it, and then you can give it an elevation for it to stand out, or you can leave it, and then you give it an icon inside it, which is the star icon, which is having the color of white, and then this is the background color, which is having pink, the pink background color. So it will be a pink button with the background color of the pink button with the star icon that is white. So I can remove this first on press. I can remove it. So we will first look what we have done here. So you can pause the video and see how it is just a simple code that you have just created. So let me go ahead and save. So I'll have to import this text also. Press Alt and Enter so you can import the text. Okay. All right. So after this action bar, there is just a text. Okay. Press the button above, something like this, and then just display the text, and I can save, and then you'll be able to see it, something like that. All right, so I can go ahead maybe and center this. Let me surround it with center, and then you'll be able to have the centered the centered icon bar, action bar. So action button. So when I click on this, you'll see it is now clickable and it looks nice. Okay, so you can this can be a rating page if someone says them the raters. So I want to enable that when someone clicks on this rating page, rating button, this button, you should launch the floating bottom sheet. Okay, the floating bottom sheet. So what do we do there? A minute. So sorry about that. So we're going to put here we are going to put here a function that will be called when someone clicks on this button, and the task of that function will be just to launch the bottom sheet. All right, so you will see we have after this scaffold, after this build widget, we have our logic that is going to display the bottom sheet. All right, okay, so I'm just going to take you step by step so you can understand everything. So I'm going to create just this function, okay, this method that will be called to launch the bottom sheet. So I can just simply come and create it here after the build. Okay, here after the build, I just simply put there show sheet, or you can put maybe raters, or you can put anything that you want. So I'll just come here and call it, when someone clicks on this button, I'll be calling that method. So when someone clicks on this button, I want to be calling this method. So let's go ahead and implement it. So you see when I click here, this function is being called, but there is no action there. So in this function is where we're going to put the action that will show the bottom sheet. So how shall we do it? So first of all, we'll begin by creating a bottom sheet controller in case you want to control this bottom sheet. Okay, you can begin by creating a bottom sheet controller, just in case you want to control the bottom sheet, maybe closing it using another button, something like that. Okay, so just simply say show bottom sheet, and then you open bracket, and then you put the context, and then you put the builder, and then you put the return. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So just simply say show bottom sheet, and then you pass the context, and then you put here the builder. Okay, so this builder, it takes just the context, okay, and then after you open curly bracket, and then you do you return the widget that you want to work upon, something like that, and then I can return here. So you see how it is very simple to show a bottom sheet in Flutter. Okay, so when I click here, it's supposed to show this bottom sheet. Let me go ahead and call this controller. Alright, let's see what is complaining. No scaffold widget found. Set your script. Scaffold. Alright, think. See. Get the scaffold. Let's create the scaffold here. And then we have to initialize it. Here the builder. Start with the builder and then initialize it from here. Then we have to pass here the context. Okay, and then we just pass this context here. And that's going to fix the issue. Yeah, all right, you can see our scaffold is being, our bottom sheet is here. Our bottom sheet is here, but we cannot see it. Can you see my sheet is here? So we're just going to add now the what? We're going to add we're going to give it the body so we can be able to do what? To control it. Okay, so you can see it is here. All right, let's see if there's any error. There's no error. All right, so I just change this one to what? To a builder. Okay, I sound to the builder and then I make sure that I initialize this this context, and then this context, the one that I'm passing here. Or you can as well pass the context straight to here. All right, so now in this bottom sheet, I'm going now to put my content there. You see, it is there, but it has no content. Okay, so we're going to see how we can do what? How we can put now the content inside that inside that bottom sheet. All right, so to put the content, first of all, you may begin by adding there a card. Okay, you can begin by adding there a card, and then you let us go ahead and add here a card. So I'm going to come here around my text and just simply come and add an add card around this text. So just simply come here and then simply say center, and then you can say maybe card like this, and then save. So let's go ahead and close the bottom sheet and then open it. You see, there is a bottom sheet, but it's very, very small. All right, so after doing that, then you're going to give it the shape of this card, but this shape is optional. You can as well leave it. So I'm going to just simply come here to this card that will just build this one here and then give it a shape. So again, just simply say rounded rectangular border, and then say border radius, and then you give it the border radius that you want. Okay, so that is when you're defining that floating thing that you want exactly to look like the way you want. So let me compile it, and we see what we have now. I have something like that. So after doing that, the next thing you're going now to give it what? We're going to put a container inside that text. We're going to put the container inside that text. So we'll come just simply to this child and surround it with the container. Press Alt and Enter and surround it with the container. Then after surrounding it with the container, the next thing you give it what? You give it width of infinity. So you should spend 100% of its width. So just go ahead and give it width infinity. Okay, and then give it the padding of 50. So when you do like this, you'll be able to get something like that. Can you see? It is now taking shape. So we have to give it what? We have to give it width. I hope you can see that. I hope you can see that. So when you press back, it closes. Okay, so you can see that, I hope. So that's the floating bottom sheet. So after doing that, so the next thing you're going to do, you're going to now start putting there the content, this content that you're seeing here. So it means that you can put there any kind of content that you want, that you need to put in the bottom sheet. So we're going to put a column, and then inside that column we'll put different rows. Okay, so just simply come and say, instead of text, we're going to surround it here with a column. Surround with what? With a column, and then it can be a parameter of minimum size. And then after surrounding it with a column, you're going to give a row, this row that you see here on top. Okay, so I can just copy this one and explain it step by step. So you're going to put this thing that you're seeing on top here. Okay, so just simply come here where there's a column, and then I paste it here. So let me explain what I've just put here step by step. This one is a what? Is a row which is having expanded, and then it is having a column inside it. So this is the column that I want to put here. Sorry. All right, so I hope you're together. So
could you explain what?
I can't hear you clearly.
Sir?
Sorry?
Could you please re-explain what the use of the is?
The is? Can you put your comment, put your question in the comment? I'll read it. Your network is not very clear. Put it in the comment. I'll then respond to it. Kindly put it in the sorry. Put it in the chat box, and then I'll respond to it. So here it is a row. This is the row that you're seeing here, and then you're having here a title. I mean, this title, it has expanded. I mean, this row, it has expanded. I want to spend like a maximum space as much as possible that is available, and then inside that I expanded, I put a column. So the column, so that I should be able to display the city and the what and the date, something like that. So this can be anything that you want. Okay, it can be the name of a person maybe, and some short bio, something like that. So it can be creative. It can be a name of a product maybe, and a price, or something like you need in this user interface. Okay, and then next to this expanded, or this column, I have now the closing controller. So here I want, when someone click on here, they should be able to close the bottom sheet. So I'll show you how we'll do that logic of closing. Let me first remove this one for now, and I'll show you how we'll do the logic of closing. So when you save, we should have something like this. See, I have something like that. Hope you can see. When I click, it is there. It is not attached to the end, but it is a bottom sheet, and it is kind of floating. And you see, we're having such a beautiful beautiful thing. So this button, I want when someone click here, it should close the bottom sheet itself. We'll see how to do that. There's a question someone is asking, please explain the use of builder. Oh, so builder, they are used to be implemented for something that is not initially started in the scaffold. I mean the scaffold. For example, if I open this screen, okay, so if I don't click on this button, what does it mean? It means that button will not be displayed. So Flutter will not build that. I mean, it will not display the bottom sheet. So Flutter, what it does, it will not build the bottom sheet to save the space and the memory of the phone until someone clicks on here. So when someone clicks here, it will now build, or it will now create that item exactly as how you need it. So in simple terms, is to save memory. It's not like other functions that when you open the memory, I mean when you open a screen, everything is built, whether it is on the screen or it's not seen on the screen, it is built and put in the memory until the user does what? Until the user calls it, or until we display it for the user. So for the advantage of builder is something will only be created when it is what? When it is requested. So that is went by what? By the builder. So sometimes you may put a scaffold without building it, and sometimes you may need to optimize and do what? And build your what? Your content, or you build your scaffold, or you build something that you want to display. Okay? So that is the advantage of builder. There are a lot of topics about builders. You can search about them on Flutter. They will explain why you need the builder. So you can do this one without a builder. If you create this bottom without a builder, what does it mean? It means that it will be created and kept in the memory. Even if the user does not click on it, it will still be in the memory. So that's it's not optimal. So what you do, it is very good to build your widgets to be having builders, so that they should be only created and displayed and put in the memory only when someone does what? Only when someone clicks on them and then they display. So every widget that you see here, it can also be built or per requirement when it is required. So you can search more topics about builders, Flutter builders, and then you'll be able to do what? To understand what is meant by what? By builders. So I hope you understand that. So to say that I have understood, you're saying easy. So what do you mean? Say I get it, not easy. What do you mean easy? I'm not doing what, I'm not defending myself. I'm just explaining what you asked. And if you ask, you don't ask to challenge or to do something. You ask to do what? To understand. So say, okay, I get it, not say easy. Easy, it's not a competition, eh? All right, so we continue. So we have seen how we can do that. So the next thing, we're going to go ahead and put this divider. So this is how you put a divider, that small line, that thin line that is dividing the two. So you can just simply come here after this row and you put the divider. So you can design these widgets and then you reuse them later in your in your applications. When you see that small divider that you see there. So after that divider, I'm going to put there the height of 5 pixels. All right, so you can see that will be the height of of 5 pixels. Okay, and then after, I'm going to put now my content, this content that you're seeing here, the lorem ipsum. So I just simply come and copy this and then paste it here. All right, this is just a plain text. So in the project that you will download, it will come also with the strings or the dummy strings that you may need to test with. Okay, so if you press Ctrl and click here, you'll find some strings that I've put in this class of my strings. So it's what I'm calling here, and then I give it this style of body 1, and I put on copy with, and then I put a gray color. All right, so that's what's going to cause for me. So you can pause the video and look at this styling that I've gave it. So that one is going to create for me something like this. So when I open and you see, I'll be able to do what? To see something like that. All right, so after doing that, so the next thing, we're going to put those stars, these stars that you're seeing here, these stars. So to put those stars, I'll just simply put a container and then I put here the stars. Okay, so I'm going to display those rating stars. I'll just simply come here and put maybe divider, separator. So size the height, size the box, and they give it height of maybe height here. We did what? Height of 10, and then here we'll come and put that size. So I can import this rating star. This rating star is a package that it comes with the project that I told you to download. So it is having a spacer, so meaning that it should be in the middle, and then we're having here rating count. So you call rating star rating count, you put 5, and then you put the rating of 5, and then you put the color of that yellow or the orange, and then you give it the size of 40, and then you put a spacer at the end, so it should be really in the middle. So when I do like that, I'll have this kind of rating box. Okay, I hope you can see that. Okay, so I hope you can see that. So then lastly, I'll go ahead and put now the divider. Okay, go ahead and put the divider after this row of rating. Okay, and then after putting the divider, okay, after putting the container, I mean the separator, I'm going to go ahead and put the button for submission. So I'll just simply copy this and then explain it, okay? But for you, you'll need to pause the video so you can try it out. So this is just a container. It's a container with width of infinity, and inside the child, inside this container, I'll give it a child of what? Of elevated button, and then this elevated button is having this style, okay? So you just simply put elevated button dot style, and then you pass some few parameters as you can see here, okay? Then after you put the you put the text inside that button, and then in that text you put the color of white, and then you put the on press listener. So this is our button here that you're seeing here. So you can pause the video and look at this button, okay? So the beauty is you can create these things once and then you reuse them. So let's go ahead and see now what we've got. You see, I've got something beautiful like that one. All right, so I can give maybe some padding of 15, so it can be a little bit big button. You see, able to get something nice like that one. So you can also, to make sure that it is floating, so you may even create much more space to see here. Here where there is padding, here where there is padding, you can give it also margin. So example, this card, you can give it what? You can give it margin, okay, of edge inset, and then put dot all, maybe say 15. So by doing like this, you'll see our card is there, but it is kind of floating. Let me put here symmetric, and then put horizontal 10, and maybe vertical maybe 15. Okay, so you'll see that you'll have a full control over your over your bottom sheet. So you see, when I click here, my card is there and my bottom sheet is there, but it's kind of it is kind of floating. All right, so you can pause the video and look at this code very carefully, most especially this function of bottom sheet, and try it out, okay? And try it out, okay? So once you try it out, you can be creative and think how you can use it in your different applications. So I want now, when I click here, I should be able to do to close it. So to do that, you need to have a controller of this bottom sheet itself, right? So that's why I had to create this controller by initializing it. So just simply say bottom sheet equals 2, then you create this controller, okay? So this controller will be an instance of of persistent bottom sheet. All right, this is a persistent bottom sheet like this. So once you have the persistent bottom sheet, so now we need like when someone clicks on this close, it should be able to do to close this persistent bottom sheet. It will not be able to be closed even if someone clicks out of the space, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. So to do that, we'll just simply come to here on close method, this icon button of closing, and then you call sheet controller, the one that we just created here, the persistent bottom sheet, and then we equate it to this, and then you say sheet controller, and then you say dot close. So when you call dot close, dot close, it will go ahead and do and close the bottom sheet. Okay, so it's a function, you call it dot close. So now when I come here and I click on the close, you see I'm able to close my bottom sheet programmatically. So that is it. I hope you have learned, and I hope you see how you are getting this whole experience of creating nice user interfaces that you can creatively use in your mobile applications. That is the bottom sheet for you, the floating bottom sheet. So pause the video and look at this code very carefully, so you can be able to do such kind of beautiful UI. Alright, so that is a bottom sheet. You can put there maybe a product details, you can put maybe there detail of a certain something, you can also maybe even collect the data, something like that. You can think creatively of how you can do good things out of such a bottom sheet. Alright, So let's proceed to another thing. All right, okay, we'll proceed to another thing. So we're going to see how we can do this filter bottom sheet, this one. All right, I told you should do it as a assignment, but I'm not sure that you guys really did it. I don't know, I'm not sure that you did what, that you tried out. So we're going to see how we can do such a beautiful bottom sheet, and then after that one we will finalize with this one, with the expanded bottom sheet. So let's go ahead and do the filters bottom sheet, this one here, this one. That's what we're going to do, right? Okay, so you can use it maybe for your mobile application, when you want someone to create a filter or something like that, or to enter some information. So you can use this as a filter bottom sheet. All right, let's go ahead and design that beautiful UI. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin by creating here let's go ahead and begin by creating a bottom sheet class. So I can just simply come and get this basic bottom sheet, and it's the one that we're going to use maybe to build the filter one. Okay, so that we should not repeat ourselves again and again. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. So I'll copy this basic bottom sheet and I paste it, and I call it filter bottom sheet. Or we create again from scratch. Let's create from scratch. Okay, so let's go ahead and first add it in our menu. So we're going to come to our menu here, and then you add filter bottom sheet. So come to our menu route, and then you're going to duplicate this, and then you call this one filter bottom sheet. All right, so let's go ahead and create the class, the screen for filter bottom sheet. So just simply come here, new file, and call it filter bottom sheet. Alright, so it's going to be a stateful widget, and then you're going to call it filter bottom sheet, okay, screen or something like that. Then let's go ahead and import this, alt and enter, and then say import, and then remove this one like this. All right, so after doing that, we are going to connect this bottom sheet with our home screen. So come to our home screen, and where there is this floating bottom sheet, we're going to put the filter bottom sheet. All right, so after doing that, we're going now to see, when you click here, you should be able to see this filter bottom sheet. Okay, so after doing that, let's go ahead and start implementing the filter bottom sheet. Okay, so a filter bottom sheet is going just to have a scaffold. Okay, so let's go ahead and return here a scaffold. All right, so after doing that, semicolon there, we're going to go to do what? We're going to return our title widget, our app bar widget. Import this. Okay, so there we go. You see, there we go. All right, so after doing that, we're going to go ahead and do what, and put our body, which is going to have just simply a center of what, of just a few things, right? Press the button below. So we're going to put now the floating button that is going to work as our action button. Everyone knows how to create this floating button, I believe. So I'll just simply come and put here the floating button. All right, so now in this floating button, we're going to call the show bottom sheet function. So I'll go ahead and create this function of show bottom sheet. All right, so now we have this floating icon. Okay, you can pause the video and look at that button. It's just a simple button of that is inside the scaffold of floating action button. So after doing that, we're going now to go ahead and click here and be able to show the screen. All right, so we're going to come here and return the style. Our time is up, but can give like more 5 minutes, and then we got once. So these are just simple text style. Okay, so let's go ahead and now create the show bottom sheet. So all the bottom sheet to show them, we just simply begin with the what? With the show bottom sheet, and then also the builder. So show bottom sheet, and then the first thing that you pass the context. So the context is this one that you received here, and then you build it, builder, and then you open here. So the builder will take the build context, like this, and then curl bracket, and then put semicolon at last here, and then return whatever I want to return. Let's return a widget, just return maybe. So by doing like this, you already have your what? Your bottom sheet. So when I click here, you see, I'm able to get my what? My normal bottom sheet. All right. So inside here, we're going now to design and put what you want to be put there. So the first thing that we're going to begin with, we're going to put a what? A scaffold inside this bottom sheet. If you didn't know, you can as well put a scaffold inside the bottom sheet. So let's go ahead and pass there the what? The scaffold. And then after, we're going to give it resize to avoid bottom inset. Let's go ahead and make it false. Okay, put your semicolon. All right, so in that scaffold, you're going to put a single child scroll view. Single child scroll view as its body. And then inside that single child scroll view, you're going now to pass the what? The container that's going to display the rest of information. So it's going to take child and put container, and then inside that container, we're going now to pass the what? Give it a color of white, and then inside this container, we're going to go ahead and give it some padding, and then give it a column. And then this column is going to put our item that you want to do as display. Right, so let's go ahead and say child column, and then open bracket, and then just simply put children, and then say put your text, and say maybe data, and then save. All right, something isn't right, save. Okay, save, and then let's go ahead and you see we have that kind of beautiful what? Beautiful user interface. So in this user interface, so we're going to put our what? Our items here. These ones. I'm going to create just 2 here, and then the rest I'll just paste as you can do them. So the video shouldn't be too long. So I'm going to begin by creating a spacer on top here. So I'll go ahead and create a space on top here. Just a sized what? Then after, I'm going to put padding, and then inside that padding, I'm going to give it what? A text of property type. Okay, so it can be like a real estate application, and then here I want someone to be able to filter. So you see, property type. That's beautiful. All right, so after doing that, the next thing you're going to put is now to put the content, okay, which is going to have a padding of 10, and then inside it will have the content. So we're going to put padding of what? Of edge inset dot all 10, and then inside there we're going to put what? We're going to put the very first item here, this one. Okay, so it's going to be just we're just displaying. It's going to be a container which has width of infinity, and is having a stack inside it, and then it is having a padding which has the text of align left, and then it is having the word parent and unit, apartment and unit. Okay, and then next to it, since the stack, next to it we're going to put padding, and then you put the what? The icon, and then alignment is going to be what? Right, this one here. Okay, so since it is stuck, the icon can come on top of this one. So I'll just copy that, and then you can pause the video and look at what I've just explained right now. Okay, it's this one. Okay, so after this padding, you can just copy this. So you can pause the video and see how I've done it. So come and give it a style, and then put that. All right. So we have here the decoration as my box decoration. So this my box decoration is just this user interface that you're seeing around it. So what you do, you create it only one time and then keep on calling it. Okay, so let me go ahead and create it. So create method and then keeps on calling it, so that you don't repeat yourself by designing the same thing to be consistent. All right, so when I save, I should be able to open the bottom sheet, and I see that it's beautiful, right? It is beautiful. So pause the video and look at what I've just created. These are just common things that we always do, and they are straightforward. Okay, just pause the video and do it yourself. Okay, so after we finish by adding these other two that are in a flexible row, okay, and then the column. So it's just going to be the same thing, but in a flexible row. So I'll copy it and then paste there, and then I'll show you the code. You pause the video and do it. Don't just skip, but I believe you can do it. It is just straightforward. So it is just a padding, it is having a row, and then it's flexible, and then we have a container there. Let me first compile it, and then we have a what? I have a container inside it here. Okay, so on top you're having min price, and then inside this container it's having the other thing that we just showed on top here of stack. You can even create this on the one time and just keeps on calling it, okay, like this. And then next to the other row you have another flexible with the same things, but with just only the change in the name called max price, like this one. So after doing that, then you can go ahead and finish the remaining ones, which are almost going to be the what? Which are going to be the same, okay? So after you've done one, you just copy and paste and finish the remaining ones, which are exactly what? The same, only the changing of the name and also the button. So I'm going to explain the what? The button. So I'll just simply come here in this column. I make sure that I'm in a column, and then paste, press enter. So you see, and then you can see, let me put here maybe 25, and then you see here the last thing is just our button, which is an elevated button, and it's having this style and of color black, the one that you can see here. So you can pause the video and copy this, and then you has the word search, right? So once you finish one of this one, you can just duplicate it like the way you see others. So you see when I expand here, I have such a beautiful what? A beautiful user interface. It can even be scrolled just in case someone's phone is small or someone's phone is too little. Okay, so someone can even scroll. So now when you're doing a real application, you just change this one to what? To input fields or the drop downs, where someone can just simply create a drop down and then they filter according to what they do, according to what they want. All right, so I hope you've understood how you can do such a beautiful user interface that you can implement in your mobile applications. I hope you are going to really do it, not just to watch it. So in the next video, we're going to now take it from there, and we will cover expanded bottom sheet, and then after expanded bottom sheet, we'll proceed to cards. So don't miss in the next video. Let's go ahead and have a short break of 5 minutes and then come for another session. I'll stop recording.